What's up, everyone? This is Hany Rambod. Welcome to the Truth Podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Austin, and I have just got back from the land of Dubai.
It's been a while since we've had one of these.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's been a bit crazy. Spent some time out in Dubai. We had the partner expo out there with 80 supplements and saw a ton of athletes that are getting ready for the Olympia. And also got to run into one little known athlete that we all know and love, Hany Chopin.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Hany Chopin was in the Dubai for the Dubai Muscle Contest or Dubai Muscle Expo, I think they call it, the official name. And being able to have, we had a really good booth. You got to get out there one of these.
That booth was epic.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can go out there after the the conversation I had with Andre about prostitutes in Dubai. But if I do go out there, that is completely separate. That is a separate topic. But yeah, no, I want to. It's been on my list for quite a while.
It was a really good time. We got to see a ton of people.
That booth was nuts. Looked great.
The booth came out great.
Yeah.
A ton of people ended up showing up. At first, we thought it was going to be a little bit slow, but everything in the Middle East starts a little later because everybody goes to bed so much later.
Really?
So yeah. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we had Andre also there. We had Mohammed Fouda, our Egyptian athlete who actually lives in Dubai.
He's looking crazy too.
Yeah, he's looking really good. He was looking really good. And so with this podcast today, I think the best thing to do is talk a little bit about what was going on because I just got off a plane 2 days ago.
Yep.
And the big news is Hany Chopin is now in Texas.
He's in Dallas. Yeah. It's pretty wild. I like whenever he showed up, I know that there was a lot of lingering questions of people wondering if he was actually going to make it. And there still are lingering questions of people wondering, is he here for the Olympia or is he just here for a short period of time?
No, he's here just for the barbecue.
Yeah,
and he's going to go
he just
back.
Stopped in for
he
brisket.
wanted to go to the Persian rodeo, the Persian cowboy rodeo.
Yeah, you've been referring to him as the Persian cowboy now.
Yeah,
the wolf is out.
Yes. So, yes, he is staying till the Olympia. He will be preparing. So for those of you that do think that are asking if he was going to be able to stay, absolutely. Yep. He's going to be preparing. And obviously, with all the things that are going on in the Middle East right now, there's a bunch of different things going on. We feel like it was best for him to come out early. He went to the expo and then try to basically get him out here so that he can get settled in. Because when we were able to do that in 2019, he had great preparation, and I felt like it was one of his best looks because the stress levels were lower.
Yeah, he's already here.
He was already here.
Don't even think about it.
And he had a lot less to think about. Last year, there was COVID. The year before that, there was COVID. 2020, he came in like within 48 hours.
I was going to say, it was really close, right?
Yes.
That's nuts.
It was really, really close. And I feel like there was a lot of speculation on whether or not he was going to be able to get the visa this year and all of those things that are out there lingering because there's a lot of false narratives.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's all been cleared up.
By one photo.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and super props, even though I posted about this, to Nick Irby, my right-hand man at Evasion Nutrition, who runs operations. And I mean, besides a dozen other things he does.
A lot.
And for being able to be such a huge, important part of all of that.
When was the last time you saw Hany in person?
Over a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that? How was that first kind of training session back with all the guys and everything?
Well, it was cool because there is a video out. So if you go to the Evasion Nutrition YouTube page, there is a back workout with Andre, Hany, as well as Mohammed Fouda. And it was good because I was like in Dubai.
Yeah.
And I hadn't been to Dubai in over 3-4 years. And so being back there was great. Being able to see everyone was awesome. Being able to train as a team is fantastic. Mohammed last year did his pro debut in the open bodybuilding. And he had previously competed in 212, and then he's worked his way up, and he placed top 5 in his pro debut against a bunch of really good athletes who had just came off the Olympia last year. And so this year he's decided to take the year off and come back next year with added size. He's been building up his back and trying to really focus on making sure to bring up his weaker body parts. But he's still young too. He's like 28, 29 years old. And he's really being able to catch his strides. He's really good friends with Big Rammy. He's been training some days with him, doing different, sometimes they're doing cardio sessions. I think that sometimes they're doing training sessions. So that's been really nice. Speaking of Big Ramy too, we got to see him as well. He was at the trade show. Got to see him. So
all 420 pounds of him.
Yeah, he's something says to the site. The fourth pyramid,
the wonder of the world,
yes,
the eighth wonder of the world.
And so we got to see Big Ramy. And then, and again, tons of people there. Regan Grimes was there. He was running around. Everyone's shooting content. Or I went to Beano's gym, got to train there. Got to train over at the TYB gym that hasn't opened up yet. That's a Pinata gym. That was awesome. We were able to focus on being able to do a lot of really cool group activities with Andre, Muhammad, as well as Hany, and also getting to spend some time with Andre. Andre took second, looked phenomenal in Texas, but still hasn't qualified for the Olympia. And after seeing him and seeing that he really loves to pose, he really loves to pose. I think he has to really make a very decisive decision now on whether or not he'd be better off going over to Classic.
Really?
Yeah. Because let me explain why. It's really hard for him to keep his arms small.
Yeah.
And the critique was that he needs to get his arms smaller so that it fits the class a little bit better. And I feel that even when he's training back, his arms are engaging.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you have to look at the whole package and you say, okay, well, he wants to keep his back wide because he's so wide.
Yeah.
He's got to keep his back thicker and fuller. But even with him not training arms directly, he's going to have a lot of arm work.
Yeah.
And so even though he's not training arms directly, his arms are still going to get some stimulation. And in bodybuilding, nobody likes to do less.
Yeah.
They can maintain to some degree.
Or go harder on something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or go harder.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at all the athletes and him specifically going, what do you really want to do? What makes you happy? And he says to me, I like to flex. I'd like to do the front double bicep. I'd like to do the back double bicep. I'd like to do the front lat spread. I said, but do you like to train legs?
Because they're coming up.
Well, this is the thing. The answer is yes, because it's a challenge. So he's been training them twice a week now for the last several months.
Wow.
Since, his show in Texas.
Yeah.
He's really brought him up. And so when you see the group picture of us that I posted, when I got to Dubai, you can see his quads are starting to grow.
Do you think they can come up enough?
Yes. It's just depending on how much time and focus does he put into it. If he really focuses, it's just how long will it take? Because he's got, he's tall.
Yeah.
And
calves are solid.
His calves are solid.
Yeah.
But his quads are starting to grow.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of what do you want to do? So he has to make that decision. But if it's difficult for someone who has those rounder muscle bellies.
Yeah.
And he reminds me of a very young Arnold, where you have that round chest. He's got really good arms. He's got a really nice back, very round, bubbly, full.
Yeah.
And he looks impressive when he flexes.
Yeah.
And if he can get that lower body anywhere close to that upper body, I think he would look really good.
I would agree.
But it's just a matter of what does he want to do now?
Yeah.
And that's where we had to have a sit down.
Yeah.
And so I think that decision is going to be coming much sooner than later.
I wasn't expecting that one actually, because I will say when that dude hit a front double bicep during some of the training sessions, it's a pretty shocking front double bicep. Like it's impressive, especially in person. You see his photos and everything, but like just arm wise, and his triceps are gnarly. If he hit a side tricep next to some other guys, that to me would be kind of game over, especially for certain poses. But it's just, for me, it would be just a question of legs.
It's always a question of legs. You got to have a complete physique.
Yeah.
But if you're doing classic and you really want to pose and start getting into the artistic side and you want those round muscle bellies, and if you can have the balance between lower body and upper body, you're not going to really lean towards doing men's physique because with men's physique, it's more about just a really super tight midsection. It's just aesthetically a front and a back pose.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's just, that's what you have. You have two poses in men's physique, even though everybody during their routine,
they do little switches,
they do switches and transitions and all those things. But some really, really good men's physique guys don't look good when they pose.
Yep.
But they look great with their hand on their hip or their hands to their side. And then when they turn around And it's just very aesthetically pleasing.
Andre's physique comes to life.
That's right.
It does.
And so it's like almost like he has to dull it down because he has longer arms and his arms look better when they're fuller. But if you don't fit that criteria, then what do you do? But when it looks really good and he's striated through his biceps and his triceps and all of those things, but those don't come through unless you flex. And they're so round and they're so bubbly. That 3D muscle that he's created is super impressive, but you're literally trying not to show that off.
Yeah.
So he's kind of in a little bit of a fork in the road.
Now, like this brings up an interesting question for me. What factor do you think you play in this? Because let's see, there's a common thread amongst all of these of guys switching up in divisions from Hany, Derek, Mohammed, Andre, going from all of their previous divisions, switching up into a larger one. Do you think that there's any factor in that? Is it just natural growth as a bodybuilder? Or?
I think it's a natural growth as a bodybuilder, but obviously you have to take large enough strides to be actually competitive in it.
Because to me, that's a testament to progress that you're able to have with some of these guys. Of course, they're putting in a lot of work.
They
no
are.
question about it. But the fact that they're growing such a rapid rate in certain things that they actually have to switch to another division, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's a cool.
They are coachable athletes and they're listening and they're wanting to be able to really improve. And that's why they call it bodybuilding and not body maintaining.
Yeah. And Andre trains hard.
He does.
He does. I think there's a little bit of a stigma around physique athletes of just kind of being the pretty boys who pop in and just kind of do a little bit here and there. But that guy trains hard. It's pretty impressive to watch.
So I think he has to, come up with that decision and what he wants to do, because I'll never make a decision for any athlete, but he is very impressive when he flexes. And so that's the update on him right now. Mohammed Fuda right now made some really dramatic changes to his weakest body part, his back, which was his weakest body part. We got to do a really good shoulder session, believe it or not. And his back was so pumped up, and he took his shirt off, and his back was, and I think he just posted that up on his Instagram page, and it's improved tremendously because he really, really was lacking there. And I feel that he's one of those things where, again, he used to compete in 212. He was a lighter weight guy. And now he's going up against guys like Big Ramy, where if you try to qualify for the Olympia, you'd have to go against somebody like that, which he hasn't done yet. He hasn't qualified yet. But again, placing top 5 in your first pro show in the open division is huge. He did that last year. This year is taking off. And then next year going in, and we're deciding right now what show he's going to do next, doing that. And then that leaves us now with Hany Chopin. Hany Chopin, the Persian Wolf. We know that he could have used a little bit more size. His conditioning is always on point. So he's been focusing on putting on some more size. Yeah. So with a little bit of that added size, I feel that we're going to try to balance out keeping as much of that conditioning as possible while adding in size to be able to be even more impressive is the goal, getting ready in 6.5 weeks for the Olympia.
Would you say that what specific top level points would you say are tweaked to make that happen?
First of all, it's food.
Yeah.
He is a person who just needs to stay on top of his food because these guys, he competed down like in the 170 pound category before. I mean, not as light as Dexter Jackson, but where Dexter Jackson, I believe, like competed as a bantamweight or a lightweight. But he was almost close, just maybe 1 or 2 divisions a little higher than that weight-wise. But he has grown tremendously. Yeah. And I feel that with him now, it's really about just staying on top of his food, continuing to work on his training techniques so that he can engage his back more, get those lats wider, because it's going to help accentuate more of the X-frame as he grows, and continuously trying to build fuller quads so that the lower part of the X-frame is going to really stand out as well. So you want to be able to try to create that X-frame, but you don't want to go so big that you start to really kind of screw up your shape. So there's a balancing act to it. Yeah. But you don't want to also be small next to a guy that's like Big Ramy because he's got the size. And I think, you have him with the size, you have Brandon Curry with the aesthetics, and then you have Hany with the conditioning. So you have to try to say, okay, I got to keep that conditioning, but I got to put on a little bit more size to see if I can keep squeaking up. And that's where that is. Or if somebody else on the top slips up, then you can try to catch them at that point too. Yep. Because there's been a lot of shows where, you
never know what can happen.
You never know what can happen. Yep. And he, arguably could have done, I think as high as first in 2019. Yeah. And even last year, some people said that he could have been as high as second, or I think he might have taken second the second night, and it moved him to third. But it's one of those things where he's just in the fight. So
everybody's top 6 right now is just up in the air. It's so
well, it went from this thing 6 months ago about not knowing who is really going to stand out because it's such a weak class, to now, holy crap, this is the most stacked Olympia lineup in a long time.
Yeah. I had somebody, I was watching a video earlier this morning on the way to work that was talking about, threw Bonac into the mix as far as mentioning him or what. And I was like, oh my gosh, there are I keep hearing people that, not to say I forgot about them, but there's so many open guys going into this that are all
Well, you got to remember, you can't forget Derek, because Derek was in a situation where it was kind of like, hey, people were asking to see him in the open class. And because they're like, hey, like this open class is kind of weak, or it's not as strong as it used to be. You'd hear all kinds of shit on the internet, right? But the bottom line was that when you looked at the competitors 6 months ago and you look at them now, you got Crizzo, you got Jacked, you got
Derek.
Derek now, but you also have, there's, I believe, Romania coming up, which there's also an X factor there. And normally you have 15 to maybe 25 competitors in the open class, and sometimes 20 at the Olympia. I think there's over 30 right now.
There's that many?
There's that many. And that's for the open. And then it becomes even more for classic. And then for men's physique, someone told me there's over 50.
Wow.
Yes. And everyone's like, why is this going on? Well, you have to remember, part of the reason why this is happening is because you have an extended season, because you went from October of last year, the Olympia, to now it's December. So now you have not only the full 12 months, but then you have additional time, and you have more shows. Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to change anything about the qualification systems in regards to that, but I just know that next year it'll be shorter. If rumor has it that it might go back into October, then obviously it's going to shorten up the period, so it'll go the other way. But these shows are stacked.
The stars
in
of
women's as well, in the women's as well, because again, they had the additional couple of months. You have more qualifications. You have more weekends that there are qualifications can occur. So all of these things are happening. And on the flip side, going back to the Derek situation too, now you have somebody like him too that's trying to go up from winning the Olympia in the 212 class to going out there and trying to really make a dent with a bunch of really big, strong athletes.
He looks big. That most muscular he posted just the other day was gnarly.
Yeah, he looks really good.
Yeah.
He looks really good. But again, it's Magic Light.
It's just
Magic Light. It's
He's
always
actually
good.
150 pounds.
Yeah. It's Magic. He looks good, but I always tell people these are all great. Even with my own athletes, they look great. Yeah. When I look at the other people too, they look great. Yeah. It's all about how you show up at the show.
Exactly.
It's all about how you show up at the show.
Everybody can look at it on Instagram. Yes. There's so many tiny tweaks. You can tweak the contrast on a photo slightly. That makes them look way more muscular. Nobody would ever be able to tell. You have to just see on the day of.
There's so many people that were Mr. Olympia in the gym. Yeah. And didn't even place in the top 5 or 3.
I think that's why people were curious about Crizzo. It's because it's like crazy on all these things. How is it actually going to line up in the
I think Crizzo looked good. Yeah. I'm going to give you my assessment of Crizzo. I think Crizzo is a very big individual. I think he's big, he's wide, he's got round muscle bellies. I do think that he needs to continue to work on his back. I think that he needs to continue to work on his conditioning. But just from the conditioning he had before, he improved. Did improve. So that's great. And he's got even more 6-7 weeks now from when he just qualified for the Olympia. So he's got time for doing that as well. Yeah. So you have someone like that, or you have like Andrew Jacked, who qualified in Texas, went over and won the UK show. Not as impressive, but some of it could have been done due to lighting. I didn't go to the UK show, so I'm not going to speculate on how much of it was lighting versus if he was a little farther off or whether he was just
or how much of it is done on purpose just to win the show. I know that sounds like I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, but just like if you know that you can squeak in and take, like I'm assuming personally that's what happened with Crizzo. And some people say otherwise, but like if you can do the steps of like doing the condition that is needed to then get to the Olympia, then you can peak for the show that matters.
Absolutely.
Because I think that some people are saying otherwise. I'm like, he kind of had an idea, I think, that he was going to walk on there and take both shows pretty easily. And so now he can actually peak, but that's just the question on if he actually does. I don't know.
Yeah. And same thing goes with Andrew Jack.
Yeah.
You know, he did 2 shows as well. One was the qualifier in Texas, and then he went into the UK, and now he's got to go peak.
I think there's going to be some major disappointments this year.
Yeah. Well, and then now all of a sudden you're seeing pictures of, you know, Hunter Labrada.
Yep.
Hunter Labrada looks great. He's looked great all year long. He's made some good improvements. He's been guest posing. He posts pictures up just, I think, almost every 3 days. There's pictures of him, physique updates.
He does a lot. Nick's been doing some ones too, full physique updates.
Yep, full physique updates, and his body's making some changes as well. And some of that FSC 7 leg training he's been doing on that has been working.
Yeah, Hunter did that one Hany set too. So
so we're taking credit, Hunter. No. You were taking credit for that. That was awesome. He's such a good guy, and his dad is just he's just you know, he's an icon in this industry, a legend.
You know what we should talk about sometime down the line is we should do a little classic recap. Should talk about classic.
Oh, yeah.
No reason. No reason at all, but we should talk about classic physique sometime.
Yeah, good old classic physique.
Anyway, we can move on from
yeah.
that.
Yeah, we're going to definitely have to have its own episode about classic.
Yeah, just for all the people competing.
Yes.
That is, I will say separately, obviously there's a one subject there, but separately from that, that's looking like a crazy lineup too. Some of the guys that have like made improvements since last time, like it's going to be a show this year to see, because Terrence looks gnarly already. I have my kind of viewpoints on certain things, but like some of those guys look awesome.
They do. All of them look great.
Yeah.
You know, you get your Miracle Bear. He's looking
crazy condition so early.
Like 10, 12
12
weeks out.
That is, so that guy's making sense. And he's really young, right?
Yeah. I don't know exactly his age, but I think he's in his early 20s.
Yeah. Just a kid.
Yeah. Are you feeling old? Are you feeling old?
I'm feeling really old. I'm feeling really, really old. It's not really clicking. I hear my name back.
There's so many divisions. And let us know in the comments below if you want me to do a breakdown on any of these divisions. Let me know. If there's any other subjects you want us to go over, let me know. But this was really about an update on the Dubai Muscle. Hany Chopin has entered the building, has entered the chat.
I'm going to ask a question we haven't even talked about yet, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Is there going to be a Hany Derek crossover?
Crossover?
Yeah, I mean, are we going to be able to get them in the same room and do a
Oh, you mean like some kind of collab type thing? Yeah, I don't see why not. I talked to Derek about it this morning. Yeah. He's totally down. I just think that we have to just figure out the timing and everything. Yeah. We just have to figure out the timing.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because we got to get Derek out here, or I got to go see him, and we just got to figure out the logistics. But absolutely, because it's a good question, because I did talk to him this morning about it when he was sending me his update this morning. And we were talking about like doing different types of things, and it's so cool to see Derek grow so much just off the stage, and how much he's matured in terms of how his way of thinking is.
Great guy.
Excuse me. Wow. Hopefully that's a little extra water over here, man.
Yeah, no, it's going to be one for the books.
Yeah,
100%.
But I think now that we're looking at all of these things, that's the update here. One of the main questions I've gotten since Hany landed was, are we going to do a meet and greet? Yes, we are going to do meet and greet, because fortunately enough, because we're 6.5 weeks out, we have the ability, just a little over 6 weeks out, we have the ability to set something up now. So I'll go ahead and announce it on my IG page, Evogen Nutrition's page. We're going to go ahead and put something together, a time and a place to do a quick meet and greet. It's not going to be super, super extensive, but I will put something together. And whoever we can put together in town at the time, we're going to put that together. If something where possibly we can have even Derek here on that would be great, or any of the other athletes.
I thought you were going to say have me there signing autographs, which I can do.
Well, you can
Just
definitely, yes, you will be appearing.
Line out the door.
Yes, you will be appearing. Oh, we got the celebrity in that.
Yeah, does a couple podcasts, thinks he's something special. I know.
So that being said, so go ahead and follow the Evogen Nutrition page as well as mine, and I'll go ahead and be posting it up. But you're much more likely to see it on the Evogen Nutrition page than mine, because it's better maintained.
I'll take that.
Intent.
Yep.
But yeah, so I think that, again, seeing all Big Rammy, seeing all the guys there, everybody's hungry. And the other thing that I want to just finish off with is the cool factor of how many people have been really supportive of just each other, doing collabs, seeing a lot of those workouts getting done. And I feel like that it's coming back full circle, because you want to say it's because of social media, maybe. Is it because there's a little bit more camaraderie? I think so. I think it's definitely much more camaraderie than there was 10, 15 years ago. And I haven't seen this kind of camaraderie since probably like the era of Arnold and the guys back in the Gold's Gym era, where they used to do a lot more things together. And I feel that when you look at any of these divisions and you see guys doing these workouts together, and even crossover, where you're seeing an open guy with a classic guy or a 212 guy with an open guy, and they're doing a ton of these things. Like you see Nick Walker training with Kamal, and even though, they're in the home gym, and I think most of the time they're workout partners, but it's in the past, there would be people would be like, their attitudes and their egos would be like, I don't want to work out with that person. He's only a 212 guy, or that person is, I'd crush him in the show. Why would I do anything with them? Or
you see videos. Some of my favorite ones recently have been like Derek and Nick throwing kind of shade at each other in like their separate YouTube videos at each other across the gym or whatever, where Derek will be like, yeah, he's looking small. And then Nick will be like, what? And be like, I say, you're doing great, man.
That was a really good one.
Something like that. It's messed up the wording. But like just seeing things like that, I totally agree. It's everywhere you look, there's a different collaboration happening. It makes it so much more exciting.
And angles to be able to do those things. So I think that, kudos to you guys that are doing that, because I think it's keeping things much more fresh. It's not as boring. And we do our best to also provide great content for you guys, both wanted or unwanted with stuff out there.
You're getting it anyway.
You're getting it anyways, even if it's not from me. It's from people out there that want to talk about whatever we're doing with the athletes and what they're doing. So and so said something about so and so. I don't even know I can't keep up with it. But in all honesty, it's been really good. So if you're even remotely thinking about going to the Mr. Olympia competition, now is the time. This is the time to do it.
I think I'm going to go.
Are you?
I think so.
You're going to put in some PTO?
Yeah, I'm going to put in some PTO. Just be sitting next to you in a chair, just watching, hey, what's going on?
But yeah, so Las Vegas, Nevada, the Mr. Olympia website has all the information. I don't know what tickets are left. I'd be very surprised if not all the VIPs are already sold out. And I think that it's going to be a fantastic show. So guys, again, thank you for all the support. For those that came out to visit us from all around the world in Dubai, it was great being back out at one of those major trade shows. We did the Houston show. That was just something kind of more smaller and local. But to be able to be back out there and see everybody, we had people from India and Southeast Asia and Europe and all over that had come over for that, waited in line, take pictures, ask questions. I reposted just a small fraction of all the people that had tagged the photos. And I think we had not only a great time, but we got to spend a little extra time answering questions. FST7 training, nutrition, how to use, which supplements. And I feel that the great thing about it right now is that the social aspect of being able to get back together, because we're social animals, right? And I'm not talking about social media. I'm talking about like in-person
social.
That's social. Everyone thought, trade shows are dead or this. It's not. People are wanting to interact and be together and be able to connect physically.
On their end and on ours, I would say. Because I can say, I'm sure you would agree that for me personally, being able to be in person and see the impact that products or education is making on people's lives, hearing people's stories and everything, that's like why I do what I do. Because sometimes when you're working in social media, it's just numbers. You don't necessarily get the same. You can see cool stories at times, but like when you can be in person and hear people be like, this product completely changed my life, or this training style, FSD7 had this impact on me. When I can hear that, I'm like, oh, cool. There's like real world implications for the things that we put out. And that's really, really cool to see. That's one of the reasons I love Expo so much.
Yep. And that's one of the reasons why I wore the 2019 Dubai.
Yeah, you got the old, I got the new. It's not out yet.
The classic jersey.
Oh, that's sweet. Shameless plug.
Yes.
The hoodies are going to go quick.
They're very comfortable. But I had to bust out the
classic.
The last time I wore this one was in 2019 at the Dubai.
We might get some requests for it now. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. Well, we did
vintage.
a one-off. Yeah, I did a one-off on this one.
All right.
But who knows? Who knows? Gotta do a new version. But again, guys, let us know what you guys want us to discuss, to talk about. I have a feeling I know what you guys want to talk about.
There's probably going to be a couple big one-off episodes after this. There's a couple big ones.
But I do appreciate everybody and everybody who did come to the booth and was giving us such great feedback about the podcast and how much they loved it. Thank you so much. Please go ahead and share, let us know, comment in the comment section. And I want to say thank you, Austin, for getting back into the studio with me, even though I've only been back for a couple of days and it was on last minute notice. Hany, Rambod, Austin, and that's the truth.